Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Late night news, especially if you're on the East Coast. Juan Soto is going to the New York Mets on a 15-year, $765 million contract. It's the biggest in professional sports history, as you read Jeff Passan's tweet. Also, a quote tweet here from Jorge Castillo that there's an opt out, and the Mets can, after the fifth year, I believe, you can then put four more million on his AAV that can escalate this contract to $800 million if they were to do that. Which would then make it to where he can't opt out.
Yeah.
What was your first reaction after this came across your phone tonight?
My first reaction was, holy shit, that's a lot of money. Um, Juan Soto's a great player. And he's 26 years old. Free agents at 26 years old is super rare. The last one that comes to mind for me is Bryce Harper, and that was a pretty big contract. But is Juan Soto worth the highest paid player in the league? I don't think so. Like I said, no disrespect to him. He's a great hitter, takes the walks, but I mean this just seemed like it was Steve Cohen just wasn't going to get outbid, and 765 million is a lot of money, and for the Mets to steal him away from the Yankees and he goes over to Queens is quite the storyline. And if like 20 years ago, that would have been crazy to say. I mean, a star player getting taken away from the Yankees and going to the Mets, like that's something that I can't really think of any player that's happened to. So it would have been interesting to see him go to the Red Sox, spice up that rivalry like you alluded to in the past. But yeah, that credit to him. It's a lot of money, but yeah, I don't think he's worth that much money though.
Yeah, I mean, let's go break it down. I mean, he has been a stud. I mean,
Yeah.
his whole career. Obviously, coming off almost an eight WAR season, was hitting in Yankee Stadium where he had a career high total of 41 homers. The Mets Stadium isn't Yankee Stadium, but I know that he does have pretty good numbers there. Um, but yeah, I would agree with you. Even though this kid is a stud,
Hmm.
man, like to see that he's making more money than Shohei Ohtani is kind of it blows my mind. I
Hmm.
understand that he's 26, you're locking him up potentially for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, even the AAV value being more than Shohei, well, I guess it's not at the 70 million, but with
Right.
the deferrals, but
Yeah.
um, for him to get more total dollars than Shohei is pretty interesting.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, obviously the age plays into that. But yeah, to even put them 1A, 1B for me,
Yeah.
uh, it is kind of interesting. And I think Steve Cohen, they just made it to the NLCS.
Hmm.
They didn't make those big splashes the year before. They actually tried to get rid of payroll and traded the Scherzer and Verlander, and tried to, change their team dynamic a little bit to make the NLCS when there wasn't really any expectation going into the season, and then go get Juan Soto, who has proven to be a postseason star, has that World Series pedigree, already has a ring with the Nats. To bring him back to the NL East and have him terrorize the other four teams for the next 15 years, I understand why you made this move. But it is a lot of money. It
Oh
is.
yeah.
So
100%.
they have Soto sitting in the two hole here. Not sure this is what's going to look like come opening day. I highly doubt it.
No.
Um, but it makes me wonder: do they now bring back Pete Alonso?
Yeah, that definitely is something to look at for sure. I mean, if you're already going this deep into the pockets, you might as well just keep going. Like what's their payroll at right now? Like what is the Soto bring them up to?
I don't think it really matters, but we'll go ahead
Yeah,
and
like
take
it's
a look.
so
Um, right now they're projected 251, so they're not
yeah.
even at the second tax yet.
Yeah. So they're
But
they're
they've been getting hit with the tax for the past
right,
couple of years, so
right.
it's also inflated because they have been getting hit with that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean this they've added Frankie Montas, they've added Clay Holmes, so they're gonna attempt to make a starter.
Yeah.
And now add Juan Soto. Now I feel like you can go and get complementary pieces.
Yeah. I
It
still think they need another starter. I think like obviously they lost Severino. You bring in Montaz, but I mean just looking at that rotation, like you got Senga who it barely pitched at all last year. Montaz has had his injuries in the past. Clay Holmes hasn't started a game since 2017. He has four career starts, so there's a lot of unknowns in there. Obviously, like you still got that Blackburn piece that comes over in the deadline, and you got Peterson there. But yeah, there's definitely some question marks. I think they need a like a uh trying to think.
Walker
Just
Bueller,
Walker
maybe.
Buehler. I was thinking like Nate Eovaldi, somebody like that. I feel like that'd be a good piece for them. But to answer your question, I do think they bring back Pete Alonso. I do think that
I mean,
happens.
they've already traded for Jose Siri.
Yeah.
He is an upgrade over Tyrone Taylor. I'm kind of surprised that they don't have Siri just penciled in
Mhm.
in center field. I know he didn't hit for average last year, but he does swipe bags and he hits bombs. So
Yeah.
he's an interesting piece. Obviously, he's defensive. Defensively, he's very good.
Yeah.
One thing I will note is Juan Soto's not very good defensively. That's
No.
why I thought the Red Sox would be perfect. Stick him in left field with the Green Monster. It's not a big left field. He's going
Yeah.
to a big ballpark.
Yeah.
City Field is a big ballpark. So um, obviously, you're going to trade a little bit of defense with a player of this magnitude. You see it right there in the power rank. They
Yeah.
have him as the third best player in the league. He is a superstar. It's this contract is crazy, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what the Mets do next. Um,
Where do you think the teams that missed out on Juan Soto go? Like, do you think they all pivot to a Teoscar Hernandez, a Santander? Like where do you think like the teams like the Jays or the Yankees or the Red Sox should go next?
yeah, I mean, Nolan Arenado will be probably available. I mean, they've said he's out for trade. He's coming off a bad year.
Hmm.
Um, Alex Bregman, the Blue Jays and Yankees come to mind for somebody they can use a third baseman.
Yeah.
Um, I think I could see Alex Bregman potentially going to the Yankees now, and
Hmm.
I think they definitely would outbid the Astros in this and that contract negotiation. So. Um, the Dodgers, I don't think really ever
No.
planned for Soto to come. They threw him a bone and see if he would bite it.
Yeah.
Um, but the Blue Jays have the most work to do, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Anthony Santander comes to mind. Um, I mean, there's the whole synopsis on the Blue Jays. They need
A
people
lot.
under contract because in a year from now, that whole team could be blown up.
Yep.
The Yankees obviously are coming off of a World Series appearance. Now they got to really go. They got to
Hmm.
go do some work. They've have a ton of free agents from that World Series team, and they haven't brought any of them back yet. Nor, who knows if that opens the door to bringing majority of that team back, and then adding like a Alex Bregman. But they need left-handed bats, and really the only one out there is Anthony Santander. Obviously, Teoscar Hernandez could play there with the Red Sox or Yankees also.
Yeah.
Um, but he's another right-handed bat. I think he profiles better in Boston. So,
Yeah.
um,
All their left-handed bats they brought in last year are all free agents. Verdugo, obviously Rizzo, Soto's gone now. So yeah, they definitely got some work to do. It was interesting to see how um deep the Yankees did go. They offered 16 years. I think it was 760, I believe. So I mean, if you're a Yankee fan, obviously you're upset and you're disappointed that he didn't choose, but at the end of the day, you can't be mad at Hal Steinbrenner, man. He offered him 16 years, $760 million. So I mean, the Yankees certainly tried, and I guess maybe Soto just like maybe the Mets farm a little more, or just the vision that Cohen kind of sold, I guess.
yeah, I mean, before we log off, how much of being the guy played into him going there? I mean, I
To the
know they have
Mets, yeah,
Francisco Lindor, but
right.
he is the Mets now. Like
Oh yeah,
just like Juan Soto, or sorry, Aaron Judge is
yeah,
the Yankees.
yeah,
I think if Juan Soto even goes back to the Yankees, it's still Aaron Judge's team, right? He's the
right.
captain. So
Yeah,
Juan Soto is now the captain of the Mets. I mean, that's what you're saying with this deal. So
yeah.
I wonder how much of that played into his decision, if at all,
Right.
because something that I always like to bring up too, and I know it's a minimal uh, that what these players get when they switch teams, but those jersey sales.
Oh yeah.
Like that first year of Juan Soto going to the Mets, now everybody's buying a Soto jersey, a Soto shirt.
Just like
He gets
Otani last
some
year,
of
right?
that. He
Yeah.
gets some of that, right? So he's making additional money, additional revenue just off jersey sales. If he stays with the Yankees, it's kind of like, well, he was already a Yankee last year. I think that's something that with these big stars, once they hit free agency, it does matter, maximizing their dollar. Obviously, he is here, but I wonder how much of him being a star or being the star played into this decision.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you would have looked at all the teams other than the Yankees, he would have been the guy, right? If he goes to the Jays, he's the guy. If he goes to the Red Sox, he's the guy, right? So, yeah, that probably did play a factor in for sure.
Yeah, well, that's going to do it for this one. As always, we appreciate you guys listening and watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Later.